ourselves to re-inherit the earth. And so it's a concomitant process of personal healing and global healing. And may we pray that the people that will come forward to become very active in this movement are people that are also working on their own personal healing. Another is create and support a new science of consciousness. And this is an area, a field that I've been in now for about 15 years, 20 years, ever since I left Princeton. And I freed myself up from materialistic, deterministic, reductionistic, icky Western science. And of course, what I learned, and Mark Cummings, thank you, and Mark Cummings will tell you more about all of this. It's really important. We are our own free energy machines. The human body is magnificent. And the number of times I teach spoon bending, I do spoon bending parties and all sorts of things, and all sorts of proofs of the mind-matter interaction. The fact that in a sense we resonate with the hypothesized zero-point field. And so in a way, the day might come when we don't even need gizmos. But for the time being, gizmos are sure going to help a lot to help make this transition to a fully conscious culture. And we need to adapt a manifesto, some kind of resolution. The resolution that will be circulating just after my talk will just be a part of that. So the new science of consciousness, which is, I guess you could call it my area of specialty, if you can call it a specialty, includes various proofs of concept coming from quantum physics, the fact that the human observer can influence the observed, and that the four known forces of physics, electromagnetics, weak atomics, strong nuclear force, and gravity, those physicists that scratch their head trying to come up with mathematically cumbersome string theory have missed the boat, because quantum physics tells us beyond any reasonable doubt that there is a cosmic dance of interaction going on that's instantaneous, and that we are all connected. We are one in this universe. We're all part of the same supreme being that's part of us. And it doesn't necessarily consume time or space. It's everywhere at once. And that human intention alone can alter the material universe. And we know that also from parapsychology, from healing. My books kind of give an encyclopedic reference to all of those proofs of concept that are going on, or many of them anyway, full of references if you ever want to get into the literature. Zero-point energy research, a very important aspect, because it seems like the unifying theme is that we have to create some sort of resonance and intention. One of my definitions of consciousness is that it's our intention to create something new in the universe. And to the degree that the universe aligns with that intention is the degree to which consciousness can become effective. And it supersedes any of the so-called laws of physics, which are a very limiting case of reality, which assumes that consciousness doesn't even exist. But we know that from these areas of research, cosmology, that's another area, very important. You know, if you're a particle of light and you go from the sun to the earth, from your own point of view, it takes no time. In fact, and that's because of special relativity. In other words, you are at one with the universe. You flood the universe. That particle of light is everywhere at once. There's no time or space. Whereas from our view, it takes that photon 9 minutes to get from the sun to the earth. It's actually instantaneous everywhere at once, from the point of view of light, from the point of view of the realm of light. So these are some of the general principles in a new physics, which I think are necessary to understand in order to ground some of the aspects of new energy. Now, I've visited many parapsychologists and people, researchers such as Cleve Baxter, who has shown that his own plants respond to his thinking about their welfare or non-welfare, and a number of other experiments. the late Marcel Vogel, who has confirmed a lot of the Schauberger work, that if you spin water or any kind of fluid around an energy field, such as a specially charged crystal, that water or that fluid can be purified. And there are many, many other experiments out there involving vortex motion, involving spinning, involving the acceleration of a fluid or of charged particles like electrons. That's the Puthoff-Heisch theory of zero-point energy, is the non-linear motion, the acceleration of electric particles, such as electrons, in the presence of the field, can, under some circumstances, cause energy to come out of the field or be put into the field. And we heard some references to that yesterday. And then, of course, we have experiments in the power of prayer and remote healing. These are two of the pioneers, Bruce and John Klingbeil, father and son team. And then that work has been carried on since by the late Elizabeth Targ and a number of other people. And it's a very important area and quite related. So now, how much time do I have? 5 minutes? A couple of minutes. Okay. Well, we're going to wrap this up. So I kind of thought yesterday, well, what kind of strategies can we develop in the new energy movement? What kinds of approaches do we need to make? What kind of guidelines? And some of these principles, it's more like principles than strategies, is that obviously we're going to need social activism. We're going to need people to really beat the bushes and get out there. And it's very gratifying in this conference to see a lot of young people here that may not thoroughly, or even older people, that may not thoroughly understand the technical concepts, but really understand that we need to do this. And that somehow or other, even if we don't know the exact pathway or technology that will be the winner, it's certainly going to be an important thing to do no matter what, that we can't afford not to do it. We need strength in numbers, no more martyrs. It's terrible that people are getting murdered in this field. That can't happen anymore, and it won't happen if enough of us come on board. Global outreach. We need to do this all over the world. That's going to be one of my areas, education and global outreach. I'm all over the world all the time, so, and we already have a chapter of the New Energy Movement in Cape Town, South Africa, and Costa Rica through Sam Butler here, who is one of our dear friends and supporters. Public accountability. We need to be transparent and open to the public. Informed debates, education, teamwork, all of this. We need alliances. We need various groups to come together so that we speak as one. And we need altruistic and public funding for the research and development. We need technical teams to be able to oversee that. And these then are some of the requirements of what we need to do. We need to develop various commercial strategies out of common interest rather than self-interest. This is probably the most important principle of them all. So we're coming to the end here, and these are two websites that you will find, I hope, interesting. The New Energy Movement website, thanks to Wade Frazier and Steve Myers and others, has been upgraded quite a bit, and we have a lot of stuff on there. So you ask the question, how can I help? The answer is, please join us. Become aware and educated. Come from a point of selfless, loving service, and follow your passion from your heart, and have the courage to change. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. We're going to take a couple minutes to circulate